let's start with Logan Paul. He shows up with Patrick Mahomes, and they chats up Judgment Day. Later, Jey Uso talks backstage about being the number one contender. Logan Paul comes out and announces some draft picks. That leads to a promo that Jey Uso interrupts. Judgment Day comes out and jumps Jey Uso. Logan uses the Super Bowl rings from Patrick Mahomes as brass knucks before Braun Strowman returns and helps Jey Uso out. And later in the main event, we get Jey Uso, Ricochet, and Andrade versus Judgment Day, and things fall apart when JD tries to help Priest. Priest gets mad, and the good guys get the win. Sort of a story that cut through the entire day. Justin LaBar, I want your thoughts on everything that went down, and I mean, I want you to talk about the fact that 3 Super Bowl rings got planted in the forehead of JD McDonagh.
I mean, if you're a fan out there watching, listening to this podcast, but you don't follow the NFL, whether for whatever reason, whether you're in the U.S., whether you're globally, whatever, I can't really put it in enough words to tell you how big of a deal Patrick Mahomes is right now, and here in the mainstream culture. 3 Super Bowls, 2 MVPs, and yeah, he's best friends with his tight end Travis Kelce, who's the boyfriend of Taylor Swift, and she's the most dominant pop star in the world right now, entertainer in the world. Like, so having Patrick Mahomes as you fade up from black, and having Patrick Mahomes in the parking lot entering with one of your champions and some other people, and then Patrick Mahomes is front row, and then he gives off Super Bowl rings for it to be used as a weapon in exchange for brass knucks. I mean, this is. It speaks again right now to WWE feels cool again. And obviously WWE's always had celebs. They've always had the local NFL football team and players and athletes there. But, Patrick Mahomes is at a certain level. And then just incorporating him, kind of speaks to where they're at. And, yeah, I like this thread that's kind of running through the show. Logan Paul, again, anytime he's around, it's always very entertaining. And he's still kind of on that borderline of part-time star to – every week kind of roster member. So it still feels special when he does show up. And when when he shows up, something's going to happen. I knew he wasn't just showing up just to give draft picks out at the podium. So yeah, I was good with this. I think, again, in a show where you're kind of creatively, like I said, handcuffed to an extent earlier, as I was talking about, this was something nice, a little flair to put on this angle and this build here with Jey Uso.
And I don't think it can be understated how big of a deal it is that 3 Super Bowl rings were put onto a WWE wrestler. I mean, Logan Paul, but the champion, and used as a weapon. I mean, for people who don't follow football, that's like the Stanley Cup being used as a weapon in the middle of the ring. That's like whatever they win in the Premier League. I don't know. I'm in America. I don't watch that stuff. That's right. I said it. But I watched Ted Lasso. I mean, it's actually a really big. I think that's a huge deal that happened. I don't know. They may have even been just like fake fill-in rings, but it doesn't matter. I bought and sold. I'm sold on it. Jimmy, I want your thoughts walking through this, but also the fact that Braun Strowman came out rocking a Jey Uso haircut, nonetheless. How do you feel about the monster among monsters being back?
I like it. It's a nice introduction. It's a good way to bring him back. It was a surprise. Nobody saw that coming, just like nobody saw Patrick Mahomes becoming a heel in Kansas City sort of thing. Real quickly on that one, though, I would like to know who the creative genius was that suggested, instead of using the brass knucks, to use the Super Bowl rings, because that was a nice, wonderful touch. But as far as Braun Strowman goes, it's the little things that matter. When he came out, he looked like a monster. He was dominating. And when he got into the ring, he cleared the ring. And when he went out of the ring, he stepped over that top rope. Mm-hmm. And that's just a little thing that makes you go, oh my goodness, this guy's a monster. He's huge. Little things that people go, they see and they go, oh my goodness. You talk all the time, Justin, about the airport test. That was the ring test. That was one where people go look at him and go, oh my God, this guy is somebody. And then he faced off against the 3 Kansas City Chiefs there, and including Mahomes. He had that smug look on his face, like, you know what? There may be 3 of you, but if I want to, I could take you all out. But he took care of business in the ring. So I liked the whole segment. I thought it worked really well.
He looked like a big boy in front of them too, which is no easy task with pro football players either.
Mark Henry brought this up on one of the episodes of Busted Open there, one of your compadres there, Justin. It's called the Tony Atlas 101, where you take one step closer to the camera than everybody else and you look just twice as big. And that's exactly what it was there. Not that he's not a big guy, don't get me wrong, because Braun Strowman's a big dude, but you add that little extra by being just one step closer to the camera. That's all you need.
Yeah, there's a lot of camera stuff that goes on with things like that. But he's still, I mean, Braun's a big fella either way. And I agree. I thought this went well. Justin, what was it? And I'm seeing in the chat, so we got to talk about it. Patrick Mahomes turning heel in Kansas City. Who'd have thought, huh?
Yeah, I mean, I think had he gone in the ring and low blow Jey Uso or something, that would have been a heel turn. No, he's standing cocky and tall because he can stand cocky and tall because he's Patrick Mahomes of Kansas City. And then, I mean, the pop that it got when Braun stopped and turned to make eyes, it was like, I mean, that was a great moment. I didn't really take it as so much of a heel. I mean, look. He's a winner. Logan Paul's a title. He was just handing off some rings to a fellow winner. That's how it was.
I want to put in perspective too. If you're going over the top rope real quick, just how tall and big you have to be. Because I'm 6'1". Well, the doctor said I'm 6.099, but. Yeah. And I can, if I swing my leg over the second rope, it just barely clears it. So you got to be pretty big to get over that third rope.
So to give everybody the math, from the ring in a conventional ring, from the ring mat to the top rope is about 4 feet.
Yeah.
So you got to be tall enough to swing your leg already 4 feet in the air and over to clear it.
It might be even just a little bit more than that too, Jesse, because the guys that are so big, they got to be able to, when they run the ropes, to get that arm over the way they hit and come off. So it is high. It is a little high, and you may, if you do it wrong, you're going to be singing soprano.
Breaking news: Braun Strowman is a big fella.
Yeah.